Hey there YouTube, it's Mr. MPQ, your source in the Southwest for all things Marvel Puzzle Quest, coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona. Wanted to take a minute to talk about the newest 4-star cover, Captain America, Peggy Carter version. A lot of people ask, now Peggy Carter, she was in that show on TV, but was she ever Captain America in the comics? And the answer is no. What they're doing is, for Captain America's 75th anniversary, there's a bunch of Marvel games, 7 in total, that are receiving special versions of Captain America, one separate iteration per game. For Marvel Puzzle Quest, the version that we get is Peggy Carter. Other versions include a Dark Ages type knight, a Iron Man inspired Captain America after Iron Man had supposedly died in a what-if kind of spin-off scenario, and even Sharon Rogers, who is the daughter of Steve and Peggy, ends up taking up the shield of Captain America in one of the variations. So if you play other Marvel games, you may see one or more of these variants depending on which games that you actually play. Since I am Mr. MPQ, and this is my forte here, this is the version Peggy Carter that I will be discussing. So I do not have this cover yet. I will be, trying my best in this event. So if I get her, great. But I'm not as excited about it personally as like I was for Moon Knight, which I thought was a great 4-star character. Kind of wish they would actually start releasing some other levels, such as 2-star, 1-star, 3-star, just to spice it up, put some extra characters in the mix. But Captain America, Peggy Carter is a 4-star nonetheless, and this is the research that I have done and found out for you. Again, we see this is the Peggy Carter version, and here are her base stats. You can see she is a blue, red, and yellow build. Very similar to all the other Captain Americas that we've gotten, the 2-star, the 3-star, 4-star Sam Wilson Captain America. So she is going to be having the same attributes there, and these are her abilities. So I'm looking at it right now through the rewards screen of the current event. You can see her red ability as Ultimate Soldier. So, at base level, this is going to do 806 damage to the target, regardless of how many protect tiles are on the board. So if you're fighting, say, Bullseye, or somebody else who's putting defense tiles up, Black Panther, Sam Wilson version of Captain America, anybody of that nature, those defense tiles can stack up quickly, and they can limit the amount of damage that you can put on the enemy team. What this ability does at 9 AP, which is relatively cheap for a 4-star ability that's so powerful, it's going to ignore all those projectiles, and it's just going to deal damage regardless. Similar kind of to Back in Black Spider-Man Automotive Artillery, which is his green ability. Now, as this levels up, I have some numbers here. Level 2 is going to do 1136 base damage. At level 3 it'll do 1475. At level 4, 2136. And at level 5 it'll do a base damage of 3466. As you max the character out, that level 5 is going to go up to 6,751 damage, regardless of projectiles, just pure damage right on that target, which is pretty high for only costing 9 AP. I would say that is a definite must-have as a level 5 ability. Moving on to yellow, Legendary Presence. Basically, Captain America is such a badass that other enemies become terrified of her, and when this version of Peggy is in battle, at base level, you can see in the description here that if she has greater than 50%
all the enemy powers cost 2 AP more. That is going to mean that even the cheapest of abilities, Juggernaut's Unstoppable Crash is 6 AP. I did some other research on other 4-star abilities just for basic comparison. The cheapest 4-star ability is Totally Awesome or Totally Awkward Hulk, whatever you like to call him. His black ability costs 5. That's the hot dog stand. It's probably one of the worst 4-star abilities in the game. I don't know many people that would argue that. On average, there are few that cost 6 or 7. A lot of them are going to be more in the 8, 9, 10 range. Some other 6 AP abilities is Iceman's Uncanny Snowman, which then becomes Punch a Snowman. Also stuns a target and does a lot of damage. What else did I put down here? Kingpin's black ability, Wilson's Gambit. If there's a countdown tile on the board, adds extra damage to it. So even these cheap abilities, 5, 6, 7 AP, they're going to cost 2 extra. So instead of 6, it'll be 8, 7, it'll be 9. If you're any good at math, you can keep going, figure out the rest. Even the more increased AP abilities, like 12 or 14, those are going to take even that much longer to get off the ground and get fired. Now the trick is that only works as long as Peggy is at 50% or health or greater. So if she's a support character, she's hanging out in the back, great. But if she is leveled up past the other characters on your team, she's going to be taking the brunt of the damage with every tile that gets matched. Since she's going to be in the front, that ability is going to go out the window very quickly. As this ability levels up, I'll give you the numbers here. Level 2, as long as Peggy is at 40% or greater than 40%, enemy abilities still cost 2 AP more. At level 3, if she has greater than 40%, enemy abilities cost 3 AP more. And at level 4, if Peggy is above 30%, enemy abilities cost 3 AP more. And at level 5, if Peggy is above 30%, her enemy abilities will cost 4 AP more. So that is going to be a significant hurdle to overcome for those enemies. If you're fighting against Peggy Carter with a maxed out level 5, those abilities are going to take a lot longer to get going, and you're going to be just struggling to match tiles in order to get those abilities to fire. I can foresee that to be very difficult as having her as an opponent with that maxed out. Because that is a passive ability, there are no changes as it maxes out as you level her up. So we'll move right on to the blue. Do as Peggy says. This is her third and final ability. Basically, Captain America disables the enemy team except for the target, the one that is most up front. So you can use this very well to prevent certain enemies, if they have a countdown on the board, from that affecting the team by going off. Or you can use it to keep somebody from using an ability who's now got enough AP and is ready to go, but it's going to maybe do more damage to your team and you're trying to protect them, so you can cycle which opponent you want up front in order to stun the other two. What is great about this, it is a 3-turn stun, which gives you way more time to build up your own abilities, to gain your own AP, to disable any defense tiles, like if it's Bullseye, who, every time you match purple and there's a defense tile that's purple, it's just going to move, or it's going to add extras. If he's disabled with a stun, then that ability is also disabled, and you're free to clear the tiles. Any greens for, Dakin, who's going to put strike tiles. Anybody who has an effect, as long as they're stunned, that ability is useless. So this is great for doing a double stun for 3 turns. it also places a 3-turn countdown tile that when the tile goes off after it counts down, it deals a base damage of 102 damage for each active ally. So for everybody on your team that's alive and that's not downed, it's going to do 102. So if you have 2 allies alive or active, 102 times 4 is 204. Doesn't sound great at first, but I did the math, I did some research, and at level 2 it increases to 167 per active ally. Level 3 goes up to 482, pretty big jump. At level 4, base damage of 1113, and at level 5, base damage of 2726. Huge increase on damage. That's per active ally. And then as you max her out, at level 3, it does 936 per active ally for a total damage of 1872. At level 4, damage is 2160 per active ally, so that's a total damage of 4320. And at level 5, it does an outstanding 5292, 5292 damage per active ally. And so if you have a full active team, that of course is 10,584 damage. And I feel like that is a number that cannot be ignored. A lot of people give crap to countdown tiles, but if there's a chance that you can hit somebody with that, unless they are super powered up from being in an event and it's a boss type fight, those little ones with the red circles around the icon, and those guys have increased health, increased hit points, damages, things like that on their power-ups. 10,584 damage will one-shot just about anybody else. And if it doesn't one-shot them, it's going to put enough hurt on that it's going to be very easy to finish them off with another ability or a couple tile matches. Shouldn't take much effort after that. And by the time they come out of a stun, or whoever is active and matching tiles, that's 3 extra turns where they haven't been matching any colors that benefit that particular character. So what I would recommend this ability is to stun somebody that doesn't make blue a priority. I don't know, somebody for example like Ghost Rider, he's red, black, green, or Moonstone, who's red, or Moonstone, who's red, purple, black. As long as you don't set up a scenario where the enemy AI is going to be actively trying to match that countdown tile away, or destroying it by matching other 4-star or 5-star matches, then that countdown tile should be safe. And even if they do destroy that tile, it does negate all the damage that would be applied to the enemy. However, it is still effective in the fact that it's stunning 2 of the enemy team for 3 turns for basically, if it takes 11, you match 3 per turn, you get 4 blue matches. That's a regular 3, it's not a 4, it's not a 5. If you get 4 3 matches, this ability will be ready to go. Say you get 4 matches, 3 4 matches, that's 12. That'll make it ready to go. For the cost of that and the effect that it has with the potential for a very high amount of damage, I would definitely recommend getting this ability maxed as soon as possible. And just moving on to a little bit of the story here, kind of mentioned that before. My recommended build for Peggy Carter Captain America is going to be a 5-3-5 build. That is 5 red, 3 yellow, and 5 blue. The reason for that, as I mentioned, The red ability is very effective against pretty much any enemy because it's going to ignore defense tiles, and that's a great ability to have. For yellow, I recommended level 3 on this one because, going back to my notes here, the yellow ability, not that note, yellow legendary presence at level 3, when her health is greater than 40%, it's plus 3 AP. If you maxed it out to 5 or even to 4, it would trigger at greater than 30%, but it's at level 4 it'll still be 3 AP extra, and at level 5 it only goes up 1 to 4 AP. So that 1 may or may not make a difference, and if you feel that would be more important to you to delay those enemy abilities, then that may be something that you change in your build. 5 for the blue ability, as we just talked about, because the potential for that much extra damage and the ability to stun 2 enemies of your choosing at the same time. It's not a random, like Scarlet Witch's stun ability stuns 2 enemies, or Gamora has a stun for 2 enemies. That's random. This gives you the ability to cycle the opponent in front and then stun the 2 behind it. And I think that's much more effective and benefits you as the ability to just, like I said, either clear the board, match up AP so you can fire off another attack for Peggy or for any other characters on your team. And I think that she is a great support character that will come in handy with the ability to stun. She's also able to do damage, and is going to have that passive ability to make the enemy team cost extra AP for their abilities. So I would say she has a little bit to offer in every category there. She doesn't have any of the AP return like Steve Rogers, Captain America, or the 2-star Cap. And she doesn't have any abilities like Falcon, the Sam Wilson Captain America, where basically you have to do this, then do that. Like the dive bomb ability does a ton of damage if you have shield tiles on the board, but you have to have yellow, then you have to wait for enough yellows to be present on the board before you use it. So that red ability, while it is very effective, can take a while to power up the right way to do the maximum amount of damage. So, all in all, hope you guys enjoyed this video on Peggy Carter Captain America. If you made it to the end, great, thanks for watching. I really appreciate all the support and the extra views that I've been getting on YouTube. You guys are great, and I appreciate all the love. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me at Mr_MPQ. And you can like, share, subscribe. When I post new videos, you'll get the alerts right away, so you can join in on the discussions. Let me know what you think of Peggy Carter, Captain America, the newest 4-star from MPQ. And this has been Mr. MPQ, your source in the Southwest for all things Marvel Puzzle Quest. Just as a little side note, if you made it this far and you're still listening, my alliance has cleared out some inactives, and if you're looking for a fun alliance to join up with, you can search us as Gigaforce, Gigaforce, and let them know in the chat that you were recommended by me. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your week. We'll see you back for Crash of the Titans in just a few days.